yet. TP to evacuate and escape the IS. Still after shock. Plenty of util left. Where that comes from? Mindfreak. 2 on the table now. 2 left to go. Jumping down. Knows they're not on it. Peeking through. Another tap. Will force Mindfreak out into the open. Kawazine really seeking to deny this one.
Oh, Mindfreak! Wow.
In form.
I love the way the PaperX approach this. We're going to see him immediately take some mid-control. The clashing tiles.
Yeah, they're just trying to fight them. They're watching for it.
Too easy. I think he got a collat there with the ghost of the Divine Monya.
A ridiculous beginning here. Now they can expect Mindfreak, who's worked his way in. He's thinking twice about it now. Backs himself into market. What a beginning. I mean, the smoke deep down, not expecting that tile's aggression.
If you have the right ideas, and they're just not working, you might still want to stick to them. Like I was talking about earlier, PaperX do have a lot of variance in the way that they play. When you have 2 teams like this that are so down to just opt into fighting against each other, it is going to vary. Form is going to play an enormous factor.
I feel like just a coin flip at times here. We could buy 4 PaperX. We'll see if it makes a difference. Mindfreak is sole recipient of the rifle. He's going to be holding down a B angle just by himself here. Orb's going to be given up. Acknowledgement there with the Dizzy going down, so they know that there's players lurking around, a slow default play, which, you know, isn't anything out of the ordinary for Loud.
No, and you can see that Loud is starting these rounds really passively. They're making sure to not go for any deep plays over towards mid.
Or Mindfreak.
Barely going into B main until just now. Spot the shoulder of Mindfreak, and he hops away. Did they even really get confirmation there that he has a rifle? I'm not sure.
Mindfreak position. Always trying to tuck himself up onto the box here. Are they even going to be aware of it? Through slow orb at their feet. Kawazine. A few random bullets. He might think it's cleared. It's not. Patience. Here by Mindfreak. Might be looking for a few more still. He's dropped down to 2 of them. Has gun of his own now. Ready for the spray through. Ready for the spray down. Revealed. Tucks to the corner. Sidearm out and wide, but less. We'll put him down. Dodging to the flash, but he's got a lot to overcome now. Positioning flipped around, weaponry handed over. Discipline honed and ready, showcased by PaperX. Now listen, the spike is on Less's side, but he's going to have no opportunity to really get a free plan off here. Molly down, running through it, Monyet, and there it is. Round 1, they know it, tucked to the corner, something. Recognizing the win conditions. Guess what? Another Massacre Thrifty.
Yeah, and also an ace.
Just
to cap off how absolutely crazy this game has been. We have another Thrifty round, powered by Mindfreak being able to get a Q play in this corner, and Kawazine not really able to clear it. Divide following up with the rifle. Unless does what he can, but it's just, it's not enough. Taking the risk, playing for that variance, and it pays off for Mindfreak. Now Loud, change up the pace.
Oh my goodness, it's PaperX taking a fight straight to them. Yeah, Loud opted into that pace increase. They wanted to try and fight it. It ends up them being punished. One-way smoke as well. This is just sharpness on display.
That caught me completely off guard. I mean, Loud have been playing such slow defaults and start these rounds off. Focused on main control, but not that fast. Forsaken almost caught a timing. Surely will. With the gun, yeah, sticking wide and out. Tap, tap, tap with the aim. Survives the duel and encounter. Has the spike in his hands, but he has to do a lot more than that to make this winnable, especially when he's on 8 HP. Not exactly sure what the read was there for Sadok in this round, but PaperX have been fighting with 2 or 3 players every single time over towards A main. I think you've got to start trying to take space in the early round somewhere else on the map. You can go back and late re-clear with the fault line or the drone. But I think trying to just run in and take that fight straight up is going to be so difficult. There are so many tools, though, that PaperX have at their disposal with this no duelist composition. If you ignore A main completely, sometimes Divide might just wall it off. And then they can just ignore it. I mean, what are the chances that both teams just decide to fight A main that fast? The flash connections were so perfect. PaperX fight through all of the smoke utility to get the kills.
Yeah, not just the flash connections, I mean the shots on target too.
Yeah. that was something that I was a little concerned about going into this game, actually. Loud are going to take a tactical timeout, but I felt like from what we had seen over the course of the rest of this tournament, Loud had more players stepping up with their individual form. You know, Les is just consistent. He's always a monstrous player. But I feel like QCK's had some big moments. Tui's has been playing better than expected too, and Kawanzi's been like putting in some solid work at times. When I was looking at the other side of things for PaperX, it was only really Forsaken that was blowing me away. Something had some big moments, but wasn't always there. Today, he's been on fire. If you want to look at one individual that turned the tide of Ascent, it would be something with the operator in his hand. And you've also been getting better and better performances from Monyet as he spends more time with pressure on him on the stage.
Something that Alex has been alluding to as well in these interviews, but just that stage experience being so valuable for a team like PaperX when they've been making these adjustments, trying to find that identity, I think. But listen, if it's form that carried them to this point right now, the ideas and time are kind of flourishing, honestly. They've got good reads, they've got good adaptations, they've got good counter strats prepped and planned. They're making it so damn hard right now for Loud to try and deal with.
Again, PaperX start 3 players ready to fight over A. And Loud go for the exact same default setup again. You know, Sova, Viper over towards A, Kawanzi in tiles. Ready for any kind of mid-aggression, sure, but not actually taking aggressive map control in B main or market, anything like that.
Up for mid, face wide, doubled up in the high-low, but no casualties or kills. Hit the bar, he's making a go of it, he's making a mess of it. To rest.
Yeah, the Mosh got a kill, and Sadak's just sticking the orb right in the middle of all of these guys' faces.
Oh, win. Oh, no. Wait. He's what? What's going on?
That's wild. Just hoping that he would find another player involved. Kawanzi sprays down 2, but something gets the response. And it's all left to Tui's, who, of course, is not in A main where the fight is happening.
Oh, he wouldn't be. He'd be on the other side of the map, of course.
ทำไมรู้สึกว่าผู้เล่นแบบเปิดทัวร์วันแรกๆแบบบางคนฟอร์มไม่ดีบางคนไม่เป็นอัพหมดเลยวะ
But can't quite get a sniff this time.
อาจจะฟูลคอนโทรล
Misdirection might be working to the favor of Tui's now. Time
โอ้แล้วเหลือ
Spike is dropped down into no
เหล็กไหล
man's
พุ่ง
land.
ไอ้สัตว์
Something gives you a free kill, but this is winnable.
That's how Clutch really begins.
ทำไมพี่ตุ้ยเป็นเหล็กไหลอะ
Wrong location. 4 kills in the round for something.
เลือดเหลือ1เลือดเหลือ8
This round, Loud did actually try to. It wasn't early round market control, but QCK started walking into mid after they
แล้วบ่อย
realized
มาก
PaperX weren't
น่า
fighting
จะ
it,
3 4 ตา
and then was looking to
ไปเป็นเหล็ก
prod
ตีหัวคอ
towards
ม
that
เนี่ย
area of
ถ้า
the
ได้วาง
map.
ปุ๊บ
But
จ
there
บ
was
เลย
no smoke up towards
ขี่
top.
ไม่ได้
Not enough players in mid to dominate those sight lines. And so there's a kerfuffle that happens over there that PaperX come out, I guess, to the good. And Sadak's trying to make it fake like it's happening over towards A, and the PaperX players just peek.
มึงโดนกู
The
แน่
more mess that's involved here, the more I think you start playing towards PaperX's strengths.
Fast play again. Deep molly, deep dart,
Nean,
flash into the
nean,
corner,
nean,
but yes,
nean,
here
nean.
with the judge. No clearance. No clearance. It's starting to get sloppy. It's starting to get sloppy indeed. And guess what? Exactly where a team like PaperX thrives.
แต่เลสมันยังแบบ
Pound for pound, this
ค
team
มจัดเลย
born and
เฮ้ย
bred in the
โดนเด็ดให้
chaos.
เพื่อน
And they're showcasing exactly why you can never underestimate this squad still.
เดมู
Walks
บีบี
straight into it. 2 years again.
ม่อนอย่างมงเมื่อกี้
Essentially
ลูก
an
ซองกระโดดอ
overall
อกมาระยะ100 เมตร
Another round,
โดนเบ็ดให้
another
ป่ะ
Loud player in a 1vx,
ไม่โดน
completely surrounded. And PaperX are coming out here. They're really not adjusting their
ตอน
defensive
นี้ว่า
setup
ตัว
too
ฟอร์มู
much.
มินเดิน
It's
มา
that Loud cannot come up with the answers.
เฮียรู้
We've now seen 4 rounds in a row, roughly following the same
เดินแบบ
kind of
เดิน
trend,
กดแบบ
where Loud
เหมือนเอาเมาส์
want to
เข้าจ
take
มูกมาด้วย
control of
ง
A
ง
and push PaperX back, and they can't figure out how. The judge, the paranoia, the swings from both sides, just getting pulled into the maw of PaperX.
เฮ้ย
It's all smiles on the face. PaperX players, of course it would be.
Yeah, not the coach.
Never, Alex. It's scary when he smiles, actually. You don't expect it.
This is the first time PaperX decide not to fight over towards A, so we might see a very different round here. Loud are actually being given this space. PaperX
เกาะเลยคนเลย
anticipating that they would
ทำติงหวาน
change
เล
it
ย
up. Surely they don't go A main again after we've just been beaten them.
เอารอ
ต้องเช็ครอบนี้ต้องเช็ค
Not
เมื่อ
to
กี้โดน
be
ช็อตกัน
deterred,
ไป
though. One away from the ultimates. Sanak builds up his. Deep drone that wasn't used to clear elbow, so they can start to use that now towards the side. And yet his position is vulnerable here. It's a pop flash play to set him up with a bit of supportive utility. He wants to disengage now with a smoke dropped down. No command, feeling the heat, feeling the pressure.
That's a weird one actually, because it looks like they're playing for retake, but they've popped the null command. And Loud think that they're anchoring the site, so they haven't committed. This is a strange standoff.
Line in the sand has been drawn. Deep TP into mid here, 2 years.
ตัวไวน่าจะได้ยิน
Just sticking that one, so he's given himself a deep position to mid. Probably won't matter too much.
มึง
Munya
มาได้ยิน
might be eager though for a
ผมว่า
challenge.
พี่ม่อนตายไหม
Here, how's your reaction time? Sun flashes on
Oh.
flashes, paranoia to meet their match. And a deep dart as well. It's not going to be accounted for. Hunter's Fury though tucks into it, gets the connection, gets the collision course straight into these players.
Monเอวหวาน
Avoiding it. Dodging, ducking, weaving, but not enough there. And a repeat with the outlaw. Something has something to
โอ้
say.
เล็งหัวด้วยนะ
A reload online, shock darts though, jumping around the punish. And now
Oh.
wide open, ready for the taking.
เอาไว้มาช่วยไว้มา
Even when
จำจริงร้อง
Loud
แล้วร้อง
are
อยู่ใน
given
มุม
control of elbow,
อีรีโหลด
they
อยู่
still find a
ปื
way
น
to
รีโหล
come
ด
out
ยัง
on
นาน
top. This is 5 rounds in a row now. After a very back and forth beginning, when no team could really get a handle on the economy, everything that Loud tries, bearing in mind that this was a lower eco buy as well, but it's all just been getting crushed.
มาว่ะเป็นเล็กใจมา
แล้วเปิดเล็ก
Surely, Loud
แม่
are
ง
going
แบ
to
บรี
change
เทคยาก
things
จัด
up.
คอมนี้
And this time their attacking setup, does look slightly different. PaperX have already anticipated it though.
Mid, tiles flash for mid.
ตาย
Well, it's here already. Forwards in the approach.
Oh,
He
man.
set up with that util. Run it back, dealt with, and dropped immediately. These ults just tumbling before our very eyes here. The deep hit into B main.
It is
Man,
a
man,
great
lem-
read though from
lem-
Les. He
lem-
realizes that
lem-
if
lem-
they're
lem-
fighting over mid,
Man,
they
man,
can't be
man,
doing their normal
king
A
with it.
setup.
Did he
So he
win the-
takes his timing into elbow. There is a
Aim at
chance
shot
that
high.
Loud will find a bit of
Take
something's
out
head
He's
here.
not watching for it, and so he will be falling.
ว่าช็อตตัวปา
Flat
โมเมน
lines to the side, and the sight gains now
David,
for
you're
Les.
losing.
Could be calling for the rotate and the pivot. Smokes.
He could drop a pit.
Falling down, he certainly could, and really turn this into
Nee.
more than a winnable
Oi.
spot with 2 years. In that late lurk, player dropping like
Back.
flies.
เฟด
2v3
Minty,
here,
good
Loud
guy.
have a massive advantage here with the pit with the rolling thunder.
รู้แต่มาฟรี
Really
ตร
just
งกลาง
letting it loose and letting it rip here. Sky high,
อ้า
that's
ว
the Vi.
เราไม่ได้
Flying
ใช้
forwards and won't be able to withstand any sort of pressure there, leaving it just to Mind Freak now.
Mind Freak's been good at catching
Yeah,
Tui's in
yeah,
all of
yeah.
these previous rounds, but finally Tui's gets his value on the lurk. Loud with 5, but questions in my head about whether or not that's
สบาย
going to be
ไม่ได้
enough.
ทุบเลยนี่หว่า
Who knows?
เล็กน่าจะไม่เปิ่มบินเมื่อ
Serious
กี้
streak there of dominance from PaperX on the defense side.
ติเยอะ
ได้
And
เปรีย
I
บอ
do
ยู่
like the way that PaperX play their attack too. I think both of these teams are very competent in Sunset. Still, anybody's game, but Loud the team under the most pressure.
Of course, listen, it's elimination. They're already 1 map behind. It's going to have to be that comeback, starting at the pistol round in that second half. Before we even get into that as well, earlier we did hear from Forsaken. Just heading into
Worry about the fact that you're outside of it, the worse it gets. But just getting absorbed into this tournament seems to have brought back some of that synergy. Some of the single-mindedness that we see from them, the hive mind of PaperX.
That's what made them deadly.
And the pistol rounds have been, well, I hesitate to say important because they did flip-flop a lot at the beginning of this map. But they could be decisive. Everybody on PaperX
Them
grouped
hang.
up to try to punish Tui's.
Disrespecting for that one here. 2 years, backs away with the TP. Off-angle approach now with the paranoia. Sent flying onto the left-hand side. 2 years. So not accounted for. QCK just trying to back him up as well as bail him out. And they are just collecting all sorts of
This
kills.
way.
But the damage done
Oh,
through
look
the
on
wall.
one
Not enough to
side.
collect the kill onto Divide.
Too far forward and not playing great angles. Pushing themselves into spots where they couldn't quite get it. Overextending
Oh, wow.
to deal with Divide.
Out of
Sadak
lockdown.
shows
Hey.
himself on the corner
Hey.
but does pick up the kill.
Getting flustered perhaps. Okay, there eventually with the reset of the aim.
มันบอกว่าให้เสี่ยวเล่นๆนะไม่ต้องตื่นเต้น
V3. Seen magic.
He's done damage but he can't get through this wall. It's so powerful on the pistol. On both sides. For the retake. To block off angles in the post. It's such a nice addition to the KO Gecko comp that a lot of teams have been looking at.
Look at this, too much to clear.
มี
Room
ภาพ
for
อยู่
less.
นะเนี่ย
Big man in his face. Follow through with the bullets. No kill
Maybe
collected, but he does have too much to do. Already the time's getting away from them. Look at PaperX. Stanced up, holding their ground, swinging off the contact, and that's pistol round 1 out for them. It's been so damn important. Like you said, you know, we've been talking about the details of the importance of it,
Retake, yeah,
despite the
yeah.
initial start of this first
Retake,
half,
yeah.
but really it
Oh,
sets
yeah.
them up beautifully.
คือถ้าปล่อยให้เป็น
Slow
เล็ก
up
ได้
there.
ได้วาง
Divide
ได้
is
เล่น
used
อ่ะ
as bait.
ยาก
And they really do bait Loud into taking bad fights in that situation. All of this was set up as well by an underhand KO flash combo with the Dizzy. I know that people have been looking at the something POV
เฮ้ยหมุนมาพี่
หมุน
and talking about how he doesn't, recycle the Gecko utility as much, that kind of thing. But they are really good at being able to combo those together to apply pressure to their opponents. And frankly, VPR move fast enough that sometimes you won't even use a second round of Gecko util.
เพิ่งเห็นนะไม่มีดูเอลดิสนี่หว่า
An opportunity to try to go aggressive, gambling on the fact that VPR would not have everybody stacked in B main.
This is where the danger zone presents itself. A team like Loud as well, because you've lost a pistol round. VPR on our attack side again. Very ult generation heavy. Something now one away from the thrash to be used into the bonus round into the next. Assuming Loud can't do too much more damage here on their retake.
เฮ้ยตามมิ่งจะเป๊ะเกินไปหรือเปล่าเจสันช็อตนี้ขออนุญาตดูจอ
as well. Kawazi picking up two. Still got that wall, but Tui's on the flank.
Yeah. Peppered here, holding the util. Good adjustment by Mindfreak.
Close. A
ซั
decent
มติงนี่
opportunity
แม่ง
actually to
ตื่
turn
น
that
ตัว
away.
ตลอดเวลา
Send us down the
Let me
spiraling
empty,
path
do it.
of thrifty after thrifty. But it was not to be. And as you were saying, Brett, building up something's ultimate here is really devastating for Loud. Difficult to deal with. And I think the addition of the Sage Wall just makes so many of these post plants a little easier to play.
QCK ไม่มา
This
เลย
is
ว่ะ
a map where we've seen a
หลับ
lot of
สนิท
teams
เลย
develop really solid retake
ลงแต่ดึก
setups.
แล้ว
But the
เนี่ย
amount of
นอน
utility
บน
coming
ห
in
มอ
just
ห
ends
นุ่ม
up
ผ้า
being
เปิด
overwhelming.
แอร์
But if you force the
ก่อน
retakes
หมอน
down a
ข้าง
certain
ไม่เป็นตัว
path,
คนเดียว
the
ที่ต้อง
Sage Wall,
เป็นตัวเดิน
things
ที่
get
เข้าไป
a
เจอ
little
กับ
easier for
เปเปอร์เล็ก สงสาร
Just throw a wrench into the plans of a lot of teams. I mean, Sage is so unorthodox on this map. Early thrash. Used to set up here, out towards A.
But a fake in terms of where the pressure's actually coming
Feels like,
from.
yeah, I mean, he did have the
Lock.
spike on him, but the rest of his team now working into mid.
down,
Got flash, wall up. Hearing all this
Yeah.
noise, hearing all these sounds, he can't survive it past the box. The call is made though. Loud want to commit into this fight. I'm going to commit heavily out wide. Miscommunication, perhaps something drops down as well, forced into the spectator's seat with the spike drop down.
นี่แหละบอมดรอป
It's a favored situation for Loud now.
They have spike.
ยากเลยวินนี้
Very difficult to retrieve. If Monier gets another smoke online, which he does, he just sneaks in, sneaks out. And now all of Loud are in a pretty rough spot. They don't have any map control or information. Could be worried about some lurking happening here. So just like that, suddenly there's a lot of doubt in the heads of this Brazilian team.
Daylight robbery from Monier.
You'd expect the spam to be coming through as soon as the smoke gets deployed.
ที่กินไอ้มาม่าเกาหลีอ่ะ
Because Loud was so heavily stacked up around that spike position, as you were saying,
เมนู
they've lost all map
คูณ
control.
2 อ่ะ
They're having to triple up and reclear everything together just in case.
And they're slow to do it as well. What you see from Paper X
Alright,
is that
Sadak
after
team,
throwing that
no one
A
can help
utility, they
him
were
hit that.
immediately up mid. I was praising Sadak in the game
Law
side
was
of
soon
recent
lit on
watching
it.
Sunset. He's very aware of those mid-lurk timings, but Paper X are faster than Loud are anticipating. And didn't we see that all the time on Ascent? With individuals finding timings ahead of when they were going to be expected. And look at the map here, how far away the nearest Loud player is. Paper X have got tons of time to try to
ไม่แสบ
reposition
ครับ
into
มันมี
a
พวกแบบ
spot where
พว
they
ก
can
หมูยอ
upend
หมู
the
สับ
player
พวก
disadvantage.
ผักด้วย
Miles away. Apex seeking to try and fight them deep into these angles. Now Loud already for it with those protocols. Moniet have to learn to use devices. Only the spectre in his hands. It would have to be a miracle. It would have to be mistakes to be made.
2
Less though.
ได้เยอะอยู่
Hold on
นะ
his heels as well to really collect up that kill and get that trade online. So that was a bonus round for Paper X. The two players surviving for Loud, they might even consider that a bit of a success.
Yeah, I think I would. And Paper X's economy is in a really nice spot. And not just that, they did find a timing through mid. So anytime one of these timing-based macro plays works, it's going to add another layer of confusion in Sadak's calling.
Yeah.
Because with a composition like this, you have to be mobile to plug the gaps. And if you're slower than your opponents, you're going to leave those gaps open. Something, of course, he is picking up the attack side operator here on Gecko. His opping was sublime on Ascent, one of the big reasons that Loud are now one map away from elimination.
Massive round for Loud. Have to really lock this one up. Pretty heavy with the
เอาจริง
economical
การที่มันใช้
investment
สกิล
across the
ผ่อน
board
โห
from
ดได้
Loud. I
ยัง
mean,
ไง
two players with
เฮ้ยแล้วไงไวเปอร์เป็นไง
two spare, all picked up
Yeah.
as well. So Forsaken just
ตัวในเอมันต้องไหนแบบมัน
was
ต้องเดิน
done
ไป
is to
เอา
try and build up towards that
Yeah.
big
เป็น
ultimate.
ไง
อ๋อจริง
Getting to the round for Paper X. Loud choosing to try to
ตื่น
fight
กันหมดแล้วดิ
8 there. recommitting to the
ผม
angle.
รู้สึกว่าทัวร์เนี่ย
Utility
ถ้า
was
นับ
thrown.
ตั้งแต่วันแรก
Here's a
ฟอร์มแต่ละ
pivot
คน
though,
อะ
straight
สเต็
into
ปอัพกัน
market.
หลาย
They're
คน
going
มาก
to try and push 2 years off.
แต่กูพูดได้คำเดียวว่าเปเล็กฟอร์มดีสุดอะในทุกๆทีมบนโลกใบนี้
Placement there with a snake bite. Less
อ่ะก็มึงดูมันเข้ารอบดิ
top of it. Here we go. Drone into mid.
ท็อป4ตลอด
Second tag.
Cái gì?
Looks like it could be TPing
ไม่ว่า
away,
ทีม
but
จะเปลี่ยน
still
ไลน์อัพ
maintains his
ก็ยังเป็น
position and his
ท็อป
composure.
3ท็อป4
Through mid now. Deep knife going to be landing into market. Wall through. Broken immediately. Couple of shots sprayed out.
จังหวะแม่งแบบจังหวะลักไก่ทำ
Might break it though. Moniet could really be that insurance playing out.
แต่ในไหวตัว
Back here's the rotation. QCK collects him. Quick on it with the trigger. Now we see it. Players lit up like a beacon. Something only to one instant trade.
คือสังเกตเกโค
Saken
ทำ
just
สิ่ง
trying to
นะ
play
เว
in
ลาเขา
tandem
เอา
with
คะแน
each
น
other,
มา
but they
เนี่ย
are overwhelming them. Mind
จะมี
Freak
จังหวะ
towards
ที่
the
แบบ
back. Less is
ได้
dodging and
ได้ยิ
weaving,
งฟรีอะ
gliding
หลาย
across
ช็อ
the
ตมาก
floor.
อะแต่เมื่อ
Finds
กี้
it now, leaving
เรา
it
มั
to
นไม่นี่พอ
divide.
ดีเหมือนมันเล่นกับจังหวะเกมอะ
Time ticking away. What is the call here? Tapping again, this time less sticking, not making the same mistakes. The game 2 years, blocking down the angle and approach.
พี่ตุ้ยก็กลัวเปลืองกระสุน
Loud coming out with a big win there after allowing PaperX to get in onto site. Really crucial that they picked up that mid lurk. QCK's at the bottom of the scoreboard, but most of that is because he found it so difficult on the attack side to get in through A main. He just got beaten up over and over again in that same position. It's not really that he's even been able to take some fair duels. And I'm surprised at how much the PaperX economy was hurting there. They came into that round with a Stinger and a Spectre, even though I thought they were taking the previous one as a bonus. Clearly they didn't. PaperX messing with their own economy a little bit has put them in a really tough spot.
Oh, they're going to be happy with it. Ooh,
Wait, hit
roll
what?
down. Face potentially can hear it. The footsteps rumbling towards him. He's looking for a tussle and a tumble. Less backing away. Will be postured away from that angle.
It's very rare that you see less
โดน
scramble.
สติงเกอร์ตอดซะ
Did seem
เลส
a little less than his calm usual self there. Forced to backpedal at some pace.
Clear game plan here for PaperX, making sure that they can absorb up all the orbs around the map. PaperX now defaulting back over towards B main.
And Tui's getting posted on A with the AWP. This is something that Loud have brought out fairly recently, but Tui's has been doing quite a lot of opping at this event so far.
Yeah.
And it allows them just to post him up on A, and they're not too worried. They can keep stacks towards the rest of the site. Having said that, Loud are mostly playing B for retake here. Not going to have any way of being able to challenge this.
Inside the market, Dizzy. What's that connection there onto QCK? So it looks like the wall is intact. Wasn't able to spam it down in time. Forsaken. Tucks. Side by side wants to play together now. Him and something here. Running back forwards. Facing with it. The flash is not connecting here. Running back feeling really eating the pressure. But Kawazin seems to relieve it. And now back into the action and the fight. Rolling from the committed. You're not getting away with that one yet. TP to evacuate and escape the IS. Still after shock. Plenty of util left. But that comes from Mind Freak. 2 on the table now. 2 left to go. Dropping down. Knows they're not on it. Peeking through. Another tap. Will force Mind Freak out into the open. Kawazin really seeking to deny this one. Not how!
โอ้ไม่ปีกว่ะ
Performs magic before our bloody eyes.
What a ridiculous round for PaperX to get.
วีแทนสกายเหมือนไหวครับ
Basically an equal round as
ที
well.
มแล้ว
แต่ว่าต้อง
Going to be labelled as a Red Bull clutch, but
Oh,
could just as
we
easily be
can
called
leave it
the Thrifty. Their economy was not good. It all came down to Mind Freak.
All
And
right,
could
cool.
not find a safe position to go for the half.
Hesitation just to stick it and trust that they can potentially hold down the angle. The Kawazin in that spot. I mean, super reminiscent, honestly, of the other day.
เก็บทรงไม่อยู่
Playing Sen, John QT's playing the
Yeah.
clutch. They can't
Wow,
decide who's
Johnny.
sticking
แม่
in
แล้ว
this
น้องกู
application.
มาไงแล้วน้องกู
Transplant aggression, and there's a bit of anti-synergy with the Sage Wall and the positioning. You saw them swing with just stingers into market there without too much util at hand. They're finding it difficult to pick those timings to disrupt the Loud
ถ้าเรา
tactic.
เรา
And
เล่
if
น
they
ดี
just
ฟอล
sit
โดนวาง
there,
เรื่
they
อย
can
ๆ
do
จริง
that against other teams, but not against the comp that Loud are running. They're going to get obliterated. See if they change things up or coordinate that post-plant aggression just a tad bit better.
Strange buy though for Loud.
It is, yeah. It is a
Invested into
force.
it. Yeah.
But Les would rather have a sheriff than anything else.
This guy, I mean, he is incredibly consistent with it.
He is.
It's insane.
Got some of the best calm, raw aim based on his crosshair placement that I've ever seen.
Slow beginning though for PaperX, nice and cautious off the rip.
เฮ้ยดีตอนนี้แพ้อี
Trying
โค
to see if Loud will overplay
หน้า
their
นี่ก็เปลี่ยน
hands
อารมณ์ทันด้วย
initially. Lots of ults really to work with for PaperX on top of that, so being given that B main control essentially for free. Looking like there is that hesitation though in terms of how they want to play it.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've spotted 2Es. That seems to be a hard read that if they see 2Es over towards A, it's not the Breach Phoenix setup. Because they were ready to go for the B exec there, and now they've just come all the way back over towards A. And that's got to be a call from Mindfreak, I think, because he's the only one getting info on this side of the map earlier.
มีปืน
They're going to hit a fairly weak site. 30 seconds on the clock.
Orb rebounding, 2 years chance to play spoiler. But no, he's out of there, so. I'm sticking around to find out with this one. Hunter's Fury to try and deny this one. Plant will be disrupted. Flash up into the air. It's actually a nasty one as well. Connected onto a multitude of players. Now the Plant and the Pit all laid down onto the site. This does make it difficult.
โห
Toxic Screen going to be covering
ขออนุญาตเอา
the
วินสำ
entirety
คัญ
of the field.
No way of really using these Flash players to
มึงเหมือน
retake
มอน
in
มัน
this
หวาด
spot.
เสียวมากเลยพี่
Paranoid on one, you're going to be using this one nice and
Don't
early,
be
still
don't
holding
keep
the
firing.
shotgun. Molly at your feet, Mindfreak going to be pushed out to the open, and he is the critical player. Has
มุ
to
มไม
dodge
พี่กัน
and
น่ากลัว
duck
ว่า
and weave away from these bullets. Led just flying straight past him
Oh.
as they're trying to attempt to clear
Oh,
through.
that-
Look at the orb placement on high. 2 years.
เฮ้ย
He's got so much more to do from this position. He just doesn't have enough info to really work with. Disastrous here for Loud. With the fact that it was that weaker investment.
ไลน์อัพมาเลย
In fact,
เอา
that's
หมด
total
ไง
investment.
เอาว่ะ
Correction
2-0
from
จริง
me.
ว่ะเป็น
Loud,
เพื่อนเล็ก
they didn't put everything into that one.
It was weaker because it was a force. They were coming into it with at least one Sheriff and I think a Stinger to work with.
Yeah.
But they forced into this to try to stop PaperX from getting to 11 on the board. Loud are now only 2 lost rounds away from being eliminated in 4th place.
รีเทคไงอ่ะ
So last time
คอม
that
เปเปอร์เล็กอ่ะ
I mean, top 4 at the Masters, listen, that is not bad.
ยาก
by any
มาก
means. They
เว้ย
made it to
ตั้งแต่แบ
playoffs,
บ
but when there's only 8
ดูตั้ง
teams
แต่นัดแรกที่มันใช้คอมเนื้อแข่งอ่ะ
of the top teams, look at this. Another boost play coming out from
Wow.
PaperX.
Oh,
อุ้ยจังหวะนี้ลักไก่มันได้หนึ่ง
โอ้สวย
They were innovating with that over towards A, and they do it again. Very reminiscent of when they first brought out the Sage Cop Pop Pearl.
Oh.
Made out the fights
แล้ว
here from
QCK ไม่มี
and
ส่งเล
2Es.
ย
This tower is coming
เฮ้ยน้องมอนอย่างคิ้วเว้ย
โอ้โห
Making a fool of Leicester boot.
it's pure whimsy. Smiles on the faces to have it. I mean,
Oh.
he brought this to series point,
Volley.
match point. Loud on the verge of being eliminated.
And I don't think many people had PaperX winning in 2-0 fashion. Loud now need 5 in a row to be able to pull this out. And for them to go for this boost play, they know that the Dizzy has been broken in many rounds, so they know that somebody is top mid, waiting to break that piece of Gecko utility. They boost up, get the punish, and all of that in a round where Loud were just going for the eco anyway, trying to play for overtime. Forced to by the Force in round 19. Or round 18, I should say.
And this is now going to take some heroics. Attack there with a knife. What's
He's so
the call
fast.
now for PaperX?
He's so fast.
Oh.
Manya doesn't care, man. Disrespectful in nature.
Ow.
Go of the head. Flipped up by Kawazin as he does seek out that trade, and he will be granted it. Now to Thrash, though. Set this one up forwards.
Oh,
Here's
no,
the
no,
slow.
no,
Secondary position.
Ow.
Kawazin lays down the law and potentially gives them a fighting chance.
เมื่อกี้พี่ม่อนเน้นหน่อยนะ
Just when
ติ
his
ดวิน
team
ได้เลย
needs
นะ
it. One more onto Forsaken, important, and he takes it.
Good control.
4K in the round.
Something drops him, though. No ace to
Song.
be
Oi.
really look for. Something
สำแดง
pulling this out of seemingly nowhere. 1v1 and Loud. Desperation. QCK knows the position. Throws the molly. Flash round dodge. Juke avoids.
Oh.
QCK saves the day.
ไม่เป็นไร
It takes such heroics from Loud to just put the first of 5 necessary rounds on the board.
อุ้ยลูกแฟนเสียว
Cowan's team
จั
was
ด
slowed up. Top A link. Had to take out 2 players where the trade. It looked like the spacing was good. And he'd already shut down that play from Monyet. Deletes 2 players as they come around the corner there. Mindfreak and Divide both falling. And it still came down to a 1v1. Oh.
You have to see that repeated a few more times. Loud, ideally with a couple more players intact, because taking some nasty hits to the eco. It'll have to be done if they want to stay alive in the series, stay alive in the tournament.
Something looking to try to take an early timing here. Dueling against less. Don't see how he's going to find the opportunity facing against this Viper wall. Les normally plays a little more passive, actually.
We have seen, when Loud's back is up against the wall, Les tends to take matters into his own hands. Mind Freak taken out. They still have the res online for this one, but Divide with him falling, no longer available.
The reaction from Paper X, looking to try to hoover up this B control. Given that Les was peeking over towards Market,
Straight it's empty. Dizzy committed by something. He's not see if he can get himself onto the deep line. You don't expect that. Drops it. 3 versus 3 now. The knife attack. Info gathered. At least that they know that Les is going to be there, but he's already playing now. High-low setup. The rest of his team out wide here. Something going for the peak. Going for the peak. Catches it in the perfect timing. A bullet to the chest with the IGL down and deleted. 2 left standing. Les. Again, heroics are necessary. And it has to be coming out swinging, traded. 1 to stand, 2 years to do the most. A fake with the TP, a paranoia evaded. A dodge and juke with the crossfire setup. It's too strong, it's too damn strong. A paper.
something.
Loud, drop it out. See you later, sent to the airport.